Hi there, this is a tutorial about Project Red and ComputerCraft, and my main purpose here is to show you how to make the bundled cable compatible with the ComputerCraft mod, because in Project Red as it is, there's not yet a connection between bundled cable and the computer, as you might well know. So what you would normally do is put a computer, I could show you real quick, put a computer and some bundled cable and a creeper apparently, and then in Lua say something like redstone set bundle output back, and say for example turn on white. Now it won't work, I might have done something wrong, but it won't work anyways. And to make it work, I've created this little setup with one master computer and 4 slaves. Each slave has 4 outputs because, well, there are 16 different colors, so 16 different outputs in the bundled cable, and one computer can have a maximum of 6 outputs. However, I'm using a wireless modem which makes 5 per computer, and 16 divided by 5 would make more than 3, so I'd need 4 computers at least. Well, if I use 4 computers, I can give each one 4 outputs, and that creates this kinda nice setup. Now remember, if you want to use more than one bundled cable, for example a white bundled cable and a brown one or an orange one, whatever, you don't have to create another master computer, only 4 more slaves. So for an entire system of, for example, 16 bundled cables, you'd still need 1 master, but 16 times 4, which is 64 if I'm not mistaken, slave computers. It's a lot, but it's something. Now basically I'll show you what I've done. I have given a name and a number to each of the outputs, basically just the color. Well, fuck you as well. Anyways, if I say, for example, turn on lime, which is number 6, this computer sends it to the slave, and the slave turns on, okay, for 5 seconds, the lime color. If I want, for example, gray is number 8, you see gray turned on for 5 seconds. So this is what I've done. It's something, it's not the best option probably, the coding could be a lot better, but this is what I've done. I'll show you now how to make it. What I've said is you're gonna need 5 computers, 4 computers, 4 slave computers and 1 master, and you're gonna need 5 modems. Set that up real quick. This is gonna be my master, and I'm gonna put there's one advantage though, because you lose a wireless modem, you can put this entire slave system, as I would call it, anywhere you want, and you can use the master computer from range and then still send your bundled cable signal whatever you want. Now I found out, because I tried it over there, that the easiest way to do it is to keep 3 spaces between, to put a computer 3 spaces, a computer 3 spaces, computer 3 spaces like this, and I like to put the modem on top. You can do whatever you like. Alright. Now the easiest way is to use the side outputs left and right, the back output, and, well, the underneath output. Never sure how it's called. Bottom, I guess. and the last one. First I'll create the entire system, starting with white over here, like this. Let's see. Wire, don't need those anymore. Don't need white insulated wire anymore. Let's see. So white, I need some orange. I'm gonna need some white later on. Let's see, orange, magenta, and light blue. And I'm going to use jacketed orange and jacketed magenta as well. Now what I'll show you, I'll keep just to the logical sequence of the colors. So first white, then orange, then magenta, and then light blue. So the next color will be orange. I'll put that out back like this. And something I really struggled on in the beginning is you have to put, in order to connect the jacketed and the normal insulated wire of a color, you need to put on a block the jacketed orange, for example, and the normal orange insulated wire, like this, and then it connects. I've really struggled with that in the beginning, so I thought I'd show you. I'll put the pink over here, sorry, the magenta over here, same story there, and the light blue over here. Alright. Hi, here I am again. I finished building the 4 computers, systems, slave systems, or whatever you want to call it. And as I told you before, you can just put the bundled cable right here, connect all the colored insulated wires, and I'm just gonna put the same setup as there. Split it up here again, completely useless, but just to show you how it works. Now you're gonna need all the colored wires again. So white, orange, magenta, and light blue. I'm just keeping the same sequence order as at the slave systems. So then, oh wait, yellow, lime, pink, and grey. Light grey, cyan, purple, and blue. And brown, green, red, and black. Brown, grey, red, black. Of course you can change the order here, or just do something completely different. That's up to you. That's up to what you want to exactly use this for. Now comes a difficult part, which is the coding of the computers. I have created 2 pieces of code, well actually 5, but here, which my lovely creeper friend over there has just blown up. So let me get back to you, get the code on a floppy disk. Hi, I'm back. I've recreated my floppy disks because I was really angry my creeper blew it up. I've got one floppy disk with the master stuff on it and one with the slave. Well, in this case, slave number 1. The other slaves are a little different, but I'll show you. It's not that hard. I'll show you the code real quick. First, the master. In the master, there is, sorry, CD disk. There are 2 programs on it, print and startup. Print is a program I created just to print out this little text over here on a monitor, so you can really see the values of the colors you want, because I'm working with values and not the names. I'll show you later on in the slave floppy disk that it's not that hard to do something different than numbers or whatever. So print is not really necessary. I just wanted to use it. Startup is what I'm really going for. Now remember, this is startup of the master and not of the slave. So it's gonna run this print program, which is not really fascinating or anything. Then it's gonna open a RedNet on top, which basically means start up the wireless modem. Print out which color would you like to activate, because then you really know what to do. Read in what you put in, and then just broadcast over the RedNet what you just put in. This is, I was thinking to do it differently. Maybe I'll create another tutorial or edit the code and just put it in the subscriptions or whatever. But right now I'm just broadcasting my input and then clear and reboot. So really simple. Basically what it does is it just broadcasts whatever you put in. Time to make it day again before I get attacked by creepers. And now show you the slave, which is a little more complicated. You see, it only has startup. I call these programs startup because whenever you reboot or boot a computer, it automatically starts with the startup file on it. So now when I reboot my master or when I reboot my slave, it automatically starts with this program, which is beneficial. Let's see, what is this startup? Now you see, this is a little more code. Not a lot. Again, it starts with opening RedNet, so opening the wireless modem, starting it up, and I want to keep on looping whatever I'm doing, so I'm gonna do while true do, which means basically keep doing this all the time. Well, what it's gonna do is it's gonna RedNet receive, and you can put in here a timeout. So for example 10, then it will receive for only 10 ticks. If you want to receive for only 5 or 100 or whatever. If you leave it blank like this, it's gonna keep receiving. It's gonna keep wanting to receive until it actually receives something. Whereas if I put 10, it only receives for 10 seconds, and whenever it receives something, it stops. So I want to keep on receiving until I get something, and whatever I get, I want to put in ID first and then message. So it's going to receive an ID and it's going to receive a message. And I'm going to check the message, and if it was 1, then I want to set my output right as high for 5 seconds and then low again. Because if you remember, I can walk back to show you. White was number 1 and white is right over here. So I want to turn on the right side of my output if my message is 1. If my message is 2, then I want behind, which should be back, but I'm always mistaken with those things. Back. Save that. Okay, so I'm gonna put the back then, because number 2 is the back, because I always start right, back, bottom and left, which you can see over here. And then an end for the ifs and else ifs, and an end for the while. Well, I can just show you now. Exit and oh, I forgot something. It's not that bad though. Apparently Never mind. Oh, of course, it sees the startup for my disk. Of course, I want to copy disk start up to. Now you see, startup is a program. When I remove my disk and disk drive, and I say dir again, it still says startup. And when I go to programs, startup is over there. So when I reboot, goodbye, it's now gonna start receiving. You can see this because my wireless modem is turned on. It's burning red. Alright, so time for my second over here. Oh, I did it again. Terminate. First I want to copy disk startup to there. I want to remove my disk drive and keep on doing that. I can't believe I just did this again. Copy disk startup to my main directory, and hopefully now first turn on the computer, then put in the disk, and now it's already booted, so it won't boot from my floppy disk. So now I can just copy disk startup to startup. Alright, there we go. And I'll quickly do first turn on that and put in my master because I forgot. Copy disk startup and copy disk print. It's gonna cry if I don't. Now I have to put some monitor here, which I'll do quickly. Monitor. I'm just gonna put a lot of them. I'm really terrible at this, sorry. Alright. So now if I reboot it's gonna start, it's gonna put everything on the monitor like I coded and ask me which color I would like to activate. Now of course nothing will happen yet. Or maybe, yeah, maybe one. So if I turn on one, oh, I forgot to show you the output. Blue and black, so now I've got my outputs, and now you'll see that my number 1 is working, and my number 4 is working too, and 3 and 2 also. But I'll show you that my favorite color, lime, number 6, is working not yet. Of course, that is because of the startup file here. It still thinks if message is 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, so I gotta change that into 5, 6, 7 and 8. Save, exit, and then start up. Now it's gonna work same here. It's getting a little dusky, but that's alright. Because now if I turn on lime, it really turns on. Yay! 16. Yay! And there's one problem, one issue little with this coding I did. As you maybe saw, I'll show you again in the startup file. Edit startup. What it does is it's receiving, but if it has received something, it's gonna output something, then it's gonna sleep for 5 seconds, which means for 5 seconds it can't receive anything. I'll show you what happens. Startup. But I want to make it dusky. If I, for example, turn on 6 lime and then quickly 7, nothing will happen. 7 won't, pink won't go on. 7 now of course works, but if I send it to another slave, for example if I do 1 and 15, then you see both lamps are on. So there's one disadvantage here. You can use 2 slaves or 3 or maybe even 4 if you're quick enough together, but you can't use one slave more than once a time, and you have to wait. So this was my tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please ask me, and well, good luck. Goodbye.